Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to start a new lesson. That is a part 2 of plus 2 accountancy, issue and redemption of debentures. First of all, we will check what is meant by debenture. Debenture, the word debenture has been derived from the Latin word deber, which means to borrow. Debenture is a return instrument acknowledging a debt under the common seal of the company. It is a return instrument like a document acknowledging the debt. Acknowledging the debt means that is, it is written that a certain amount of debt is given to the company under the common seal of the company, and so also this instrument also bears the seal of the company. Seal of the company is known as common seal. It contains a contract for repayment of principal. It also contains a contract for repayment of principal. Principal amount means the full amount that is given to the company after a specified period or at intervals or at the option of the company. And also this, if a person or a institution or an organization gives a debt for the company, they will get a principal amount plus the interest at a fixed rate payable, usually either in half yearly or yearly on fixed rate. Half yearly means after 6 months or 1 year at fixed rate. Fixed rate dates. Fixed date is fixed for the payment of interest. According to section 212 of the Companies Act 1956, debenture includes debenture, inventory, bonds and other securities of a company, whether constituting a charge on the assets of the company or not. Constituting a charge on the assets of the company means if the payment is not made, repayment of the debt is not made the specified date, the amount of debt can be collected from the company property. Okay. Then we move on to the next topic, that is bond. Bond is also an instrument of acknowledgement of a debt. It's also the amount of debt that is given to a company. Traditionally, the government issues bonds. Issuing bonds means that is either the company organization approaches the public or any institutions that they want debt. That is the issuing bonds or issuing debts. Issuing shares also, like they are telling that they want amount of investment as shares. But these days bonds are also being issued by semi-government, fully not government. Semi-government means a certain percentage of shares are of government and other shares will be of private individuals and non-government organizations. The term debentures and bonds are also being used interchangeably. The means in some cases bond is also known as debentures and debentures is also known as bonds. Then we will discuss about the distinction between shares and debentures. The first point of difference is about the ownership. A share represents the ownership of the company. Those who invest amount in the company as shares are known as the owners of the company, whereas the debenture is an acknowledgement of the debt. Whereas the debenture, those who give debentures or debt to the company, they do not form the owners. Debenture is only a acknowledgement, means they are just a thing that they are giving debt, like that. A share is a part of the owned capital or ownership capital, whereas a debenture is the part of the borrowed capital. Return. The return on shares is known as the dividend. means the shareholder or the persons who invest shares in the company may get the full amount of shares plus a certain amount, as in the case of debenture it is interest, whereas on shares it is dividend, while the return on debentures is interest. The return on the rate of return on shares may vary from year to year depending upon the profits of the company. Means that the return value on the shares will be based on the profits. If the company is not earning profit, there will be no return on shares. But the rate of interest on debentures is prefixed. The payment of dividend is an appropriation of profits. Means it's to be payment of dividend is to be made only when the company makes profit, whereas the payment of interest is a charge on the profits of and to be paid even if there is no profit. Then regarding the repayment, normally the amount of shares is not returned during the life of the company, whereas generally the debentures are issued for a specific period and repayable on the expiry of that period. However, in the year 1998, the amendments means changes in the laws according to section 77A and 77B subsection 2 of the Companies Act, the 1956, permitted the companies to buy back its shares, especially when the market value of shares is less than its book value. Amount of shares is returned if the market value of the shares is less than the book value. Voting rights. Shareholders enjoy voting rights, whereas the debenture holders not normally enjoy any voting right. Then the right of discount on issue. Both shares and debentures are issued at a discount. Like in the case of shares, if the value of shares is 100, it can be issued at discount of rupees 80 per share. However, shares can be issued at a discount in accordance with they can be issued at discount on accordance with the provisions of section 79 of the Companies Act 1956, which stipulates means which shows or states that the rate of discount must not exceed 10% of the face value. Face value means original value, while the debentures can be issued at any rate of discount. Security. Shares are not secured by any charge, whereas debentures are generally secured and carry a fixed or floating charge over the assets of the company. Shares, if there is no security on shares, but the debentures carries a security. We can say that if the repayment of debentures is not made at the specified date, it can be we can get the amount from the company's assets. That amount is either fixed or a floating charge. Then convertibility. The shares cannot be converted into debentures, whereas the debentures can be converted into shares if the terms of issue, there will be certain conditions while issuing the debentures, and then if the terms of issue provides, then it can terms of issue of shares provides, then can be converted into debentures. So provide, and that in the case these are known as convertible debentures. They are known as convertible debentures. Those debentures that can be converted into shares is known as convertible debentures. That's all for today. Thank you.